The comedian George Burns once said, "Happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family in another city." Family life can be messy, complicated, and full of unresolved history, but beneath it all lies love. Prairie Theatre Exchange's latest production, Liars at a Funeral, which runs from October the 14th to the 26th, dives headfirst into this chaos with farcical flair. Written by Sophia Fabiili, the play asks, if you are gathered your estranged family together in one room, what would they say about you and what truths would come out? Could old wounds be healed if everyone just talked it through? What if they were trapped together, unable to leave? Would things get better or worse? Full of schemers, misfits, and chaotic fibbers, Liars at a Funeral is a hilarious romp through the ups and downs of family, proving that even the most dysfunctional households can deliver many laughs. This is a truly hilarious show, and joining me here in the Classic 107 studio to talk about Liars at a Funeral, I am joined by Corey Wojcik, who plays the characters Frank and Wayne, and his son, Mackenzie Wojcik, who plays the characters of Quint and Cam. Hello to you both.
Hello.
So great to have you here.
So good to be here.
Good to be here.
So, Corey, you were in the studio this summer talking about Waiting for Godot that you did with Shakespeare in the Ruins.
That's right.
You played Estragon, and Mackenzie, you played the boy.
I did, yeah.
In Waiting for Godot. Mackenzie, how does it feel to be back on stage with your dad for Liars at a Funeral?
It's always so fun. I mean, how many people get to say they get to work with their dad every day? And I just, we have such a great relationship. Hey, Dad. And so
you
it's just
say the right thing.
I mean, he's been my lifelong acting teacher. So getting to share the stage with him is just such a gift, and I get to learn more every day.
Liars at a Funeral has 9 characters and 5 actors, and by the sounds of it, it just goes 100 miles an hour. Can you both give us a brief synopsis of the play? The grandmother fakes her own death, right?
That's right. Yeah, and it's in the style of a farce. So, a farce is a little bit bigger than life, but it's different if you think of sort of the classical farce structure. This has a lot of heart and humor. So there's, of course, farces always have humor, but this is a lot of emotional moments, really touching moments between all the characters, and because we're dealing with a family, so there's a lot of realism there, based there, and so underneath all this sort of almost ridiculous scenario is heart and truth, and that's what I really love about the play. So it's this matriarch of the family plans her funeral, and with the intent of her fake funeral, with the intent of reuniting her family, and hilarity ensues. Trying to basically slowly every character, all the characters are trying to hide this secret to sort of serve this grandiose purpose of reuniting the family. And I think it all matters to every character that this happens for different reasons. And that's the fun of it.
And Mackenzie, for you, what's it like working in this kind of a situation where things are moving so quickly?
Well, Dad had a really great analogy while we were in rehearsals, that this play is like getting in a really nice car, like a Porsche, and having to go 50, because it can just chug super fast. But it is, when we get down to it, what it's really about is just making sure that you're really connecting with each other on stage and making your thoughts heard and landing things and making sure the audience understands everything, because it is coming at you fast.
Yeah.
But in a very emotional, true, and super funny way. It's a blast.
Yeah. Corey, you play the characters of Wayne and Frank. First of all, who is Wayne, and what is his relationship with Evelyn?
So Wayne is the father, the ex-husband of Evelyn. So Evelyn's the mother of, not the mother who plans the funeral, but she's the daughter of the mother who plans the funeral. And I play the ex-husband. So you can imagine the amount of baggage that sort of comes in with that. And the ex-husband's there to also try to reunite himself with his family, because things didn't go so well for him in the past with his family. And so he's seeing this funeral as a chance to reinsert himself into the family and sort of make up for lost time as a father. So that's Wayne.
Yeah. And then Frank, you also play. What is his?
Frank is the best friend of
Yes.
Evelyn. So it's fun to play those total opposites. Like this, we have this, Wayne has a sparring relationship with Evelyn because they're exes.
Right, yeah.
But Frank is the best friend. So I get to have a lot of fun with Monique, sort of going on, one scene we'll be at each other's throats, and the next
Right.
I'll be like taking care of her and being loving and her best pal and her emotional support. So that's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's few relationships are more acrimonious than divorced people,
Right.
and then you've got the best friend.
And the
with-
best friend, yeah.
So-
so that's the fun of it, and I'll literally leave the stage as one guy, and 2 minutes later come back as the other.
You gotta make the
I'll,
switch
I'll
like that.
cause the trauma and then come back and cure it. So it's really fun.
Mackenzie, you're playing Quint and Cam.
Yeah.
Who is Quint? And my understanding is he's in on the ruse. He's in on this
Yeah.
whole idea of the grandmother faking her death, right?
Yeah, Quint's in on it from the start. He works at the funeral home. He's worked there for 10 years. He really wants a promotion at work, and he's in love with the granddaughter, and I think that's what drives him to put everything on the line, and risk putting on a fake funeral at the funeral home. He doesn't run the funeral home. He just works there, So it's a big risk for him, and I think that's his. He's a very nervous. He cares about his job, and he loves this girl, and he's not very good at talking about himself or expressing his needs. Yeah.
And what about Cam? Who's he?
Cam is the boyfriend of the other granddaughter. So this is fun. I get to play, like we thought about commedia dell'arte archetypes while rehearsing the play, and I think I get to play sort of like me and Shannon Lowen get to play the sort of lovers in the show, because Quint is in love with the granddaughter Dee Dee, and then Cam is the life partner of the other granddaughter Mia. So I get to, Cam's just super, he believes in radical honesty and positivity, and he just wants the best life for his life partner, Mia.
And does it create any changes switching from Cam to Quint like it does for Wayne and Frank? For you?
Not as much, because they never really interact, and they're I mean, Quint has more of a history with the family, but both of the characters are outsiders to the family. So I'm sort of the guy who's, Quint's in on it, but Cam's fully, outside of it, and is just, sort of going along. He's the guy who's like, oh, what's going on? Yeah. He's like a golden retriever. Yeah.
When I was prepping for the interview, everything I read about the play keeps referring to this family curse.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Without giving the curse away, we don't want any spoilers, is the curse sort of the pry bar that keeps the family apart?
The pry bar. It's funny because, yes, it's the thing that keeps it apart, but ultimately, could be the thing that brings them together in this sort of backwards kind of way. And the curse is I think every family has some sort of superstition. I know my grandma, our grandma, right? Our kids here. She believes in a lot of superstitions and sayings like if you sing at the table, you cry before bed and stuff like that. So this curse is this family really puts stock into this curse, and it's kind of the thing that the grandmother says. She's like, we have to break this curse. The whole point of her doing this, we have to break this curse. And so, and she believes once that curse is broken, the family will be able to start anew. It's a funeral, right? Because yes, funerals are a time of passing, but it's also a time of starting fresh. And so this is why the grandmother has picked this, because she hopes that the sort of emotional heft of the whole thing will change the family for the better. So, yes, and a curse is also, of course, I believe, a part of the farcical nature of it. This sort of fantastical element that that sort of surrounds all these characters' lives.
So do things get better or worse once they're snowed in and locked in the funeral home?
things get elevated. That's
Yeah.
for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Things get elevated. They get worse for the characters, that's for sure, but better for the audience. Right? The more, of course, the more trapped you make characters, the more hilarity can ensue. Actually, the TV show, I guess you could say, that we sort of always refer to as Faulty Towers.
Faulty Towers.
Yes. So if you could imagine those characters being snowed in, I don't know if there was an episode like that, but that's kind of the idea and how they deal with it. So, yeah.
Liars is being directed by the artistic director for PTE, Anne Hodges. What's it been like working with her as a director?
I've worked with Anne many times, and so it's always fantastic, fun, and I learn something every time. Every time when I work with Anne. But it's really particularly great for me to be working with her now because this is her first season that she's chosen, and she's directing the first play. And so yesterday was pretty great. We had Colin Jackson, who was one of the founders of PTE there, and he came in, he gave a speech, he laid forth a challenge. He gave I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I'm just going to say it. He gave $100,000 and he said, "Okay, so let's meet our challenge here." And so it was a great night to see a new beginning. Funnily enough, for Prairie Theatre Exchange. And so working with Anne for me is always great. And I dare say Anne is pretty responsible for my career, helping me to develop as an actor.
Mackenzie, what's it been like for you?
It's been fantastic. Anne this is my first time working with Anne. And I've seen all the shows she's directed that has done throughout the years, and she always I'm amazed by the shows that she directs, and then getting to be in the room with her, she's just so prepared and so open to your suggestions, and just so collaborative, and creates a really fun and professional and sensitive and vulnerable, awesome room. You can't ask for something better as an actor. Yeah.
I got to ask the question. It's right out there. Liars at a Funeral is all about family. Corey and Mackenzie, your father and son. Yeah. When you rehearse or perform the play, does it make you think about members of your own family, or are you learning anything about yourself while you've been rehearsing and performing the play?
Well, the one funny thing is that every character is related to each other in the play, but we're the only characters who are not related to each other. But in real life, we are.
Yeah.
I'll let you take the rest. The question. The rest of the question was: does it remind us of any other?
Like any of your other family members? Are you learning about any of your family members by rehearsing or performing the play?
Well, I would say that my acting, we are all the sum of everyone we've always met.
Yeah,
and
right.
so of course there's different family members in every performance I do. For this one in particular. I'd say other than the aspects, like Wayne has some not great qualities to him, but the way he is steadfast. There's times when he's out there and he's really working for his family, and he's like, no, this is the way to do it, and he's working hard to reunite his family. I'd say there's a good element of my dad in there, for sure. Just like that sort of how can I call it? He's the Ukrainian sort of like, we're going to get this done. We're going to, work hard and keep the family together. So I'd say there's an element of my dad, his grandpa, in there. And then there's the goofy side of my family too that comes out in Frank too. This sort of fun, playful nature that my mom had, and that lots of people in my family have. So I'd say those characters for sure.
Mackenzie, how about you? Are you learning anything?
I learned I can now. I catch myself stealing from my dad. I feel I feel like a lot of the times when I'm acting, I and people have told me this too, where they see my dad in a show and then they see me in a show and they go, "Oh yeah, I see you guys act like the same." So I find myself just like being influenced by like the choices he'll make, and I try and bring that to the table. But as for my characters, I can't think of anything that I would have taken from my family right now.
What do you hope audiences will take away? Do you think they'll make the play will make them think about their family, or you just want straight up laughs a mile a minute?
We would think, I thought going in that, the mile a minute straight up laughs, but people, I've heard comments saying like, it's really funny and everything, but it really made me think about my family. And then of course we have a lot of local Manitoba references in there, so people like that too. But of course, because it's said at a funeral, there's things that are said where it's like people always wish they could turn back time at a funeral. And so I got a text from a friend who said, yeah, that really resonated with me, really made me think about my own family. And so, while there is humor, I think people are seeing themselves in these characters because, hey, it's a family, and that's not always the smoothest thing. Yeah. And so if it sort of makes them reflect and laugh at the same time, and, realize that there's this touching scene at the end between your two characters, the two young people, after all the older characters have gone away, and it's just left with these two young people that we find very nice and touching, because that's what the world is now. Like, this is what we hope to as the parents, to what we leave to the kids, and they're like, well, what do we do? What are we going to do? How do we move forward? Mm-hmm. And so there is a lot of heart and a lot of touching moments in this show.
And families can be hilarious as well.
Families can be hilarious, and we can learn a lot from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Corey and Mackenzie, this has been so much fun having you in today. I hope the remainder of the run of Liars at a Funeral is packed and goes super well. Thanks so much for taking the time to stop by and talk to me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Right on.